It's Friday, November 4th, 2011. I'm Kevin McShann, and this is the McShann Sports Beat Report.
An odd step in you meeting with Goodell, something we don't see very often when it comes from the player side. I know up front you're not going to tell me what happened in the meeting, but I mean, what caused you to take this step to want to make that meeting happen?
I just honestly wanted a better understanding, and it's always good to be able to have the luxury to speak to him over phone, but I think it means a little bit more to be able to sit down face to face with him as well as the staff and be able to get an eye contact and face to face meeting, and that was kind of more or less where I felt it needed to go to that particular stance.
So what do you take out of it? I mean, I guess it's hard for me to ask you the question because without asking you bottom line what was said, it's like, what comes out of something like this? Do you have a better understanding? And if so, what specifically do you understand better?
Definitely a better understanding, and one that allows me to continue to play the way that I am playing, but see what they're looking for and see the mistakes that they see, the reasons why they said I made a mistake here, and this is why this penalty may be called, and then laterally further discipline with the fine. And my first and foremost issue of wanting to see that and understand that is because I don't want to hurt my team by any means. I'm here to continue to help my team win, and by no means do I want to hurt my team. So that was the main focus of me going there and having a better understanding, being able to sit down with him and the staff.
A meeting of the minds can often lead to a sense of clarity, cleansing, and awareness, and that's precisely what happened on Tuesday when Lions defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh met with NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell to discuss his style of play and to put it under further review. Suh requested the meeting in the Big Apple with the NFL's top brass in order to receive a better understanding of the way he's being officiated and why he's being levied so hard in the pocketbook. According to the league office and Goodell himself, Lions head coach Jim Schwartz and team president Tom Lewand also accompanied Suh for the meeting. The league also noted that the senior vice president of football operations, Ray Anderson, football operations consultant Jeff Fisher, who also served as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans for 16 seasons from 1994 to 2010, the Vice President of Officiating, Carl Johnson, and Merton Hanks, a Vice President of Football Operations, represented the NFL during the session. Schwartz appeared earlier this week on the Dan Patrick Show to discuss the events in New York, and the Lions' third-year field boss was extremely careful not to divulge any inside details.
Jim Schwartz joins us now. Hi, Coach.
How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing okay. Who set up the meeting with the commissioner with Ndamukong Suh?
I don't know. It's really my place to comment on that. That's Ndamukong Suh, and that's the commissioner that can comment on that. I was in attendance, and probably the only comment I really have on that is we're proud to have Ndamukong represent our team. We think he's a great football player. He's going to play here for a lot of years and do a lot of great things for us. And anytime that you have players and coaches communicating is good. Anytime you have players communicating other players is good. And in this case, anytime that you have players and the league office communicating, I think it's a good thing. And we look forward to a lot of good things from Ndamukong.
But did the commissioner clear up something for you as a coach on what you can tell your players? Not specifically Ndamukong Suh, but the rest of the team.
Again, I have a very good understanding of the league office's point of view, and I think I'll just leave it right there.
Okay, how about this? After the meeting, does Ndamukong Suh play any differently when you guys meet the Bears?
Maybe a little different technique, but I don't think anything as far as his aggressiveness or anything else. I think the biggest thing is Ndamukong does not want to do anything that hurts the team when it comes to getting penalties and things like that. Like I said, communication between the league, how they view things, and ways to avoid getting penalized. Sure, any player is going to try to do whatever they can not to get the team penalized. He's a really good team first player. He's not a selfish player. So I think I think that sort of comes out of it. But as far as his strength and aggressiveness and the passion with which he plays the game, none of that's going to change for Ndamukong Suh.
Suh's rough play has resulted in a total of $42,500 in fines since Detroit drafted the former standout Cornhusker out of Nebraska in April of 2009. In August, he was fined a third time in less than a year for roughing up a third quarterback when he grabbed Cincinnati's Andy Dalton and threw him to the turf after he got rid of the ball. He was fined twice in the regular season for hits on Chicago's Jay Cutler, and once in the preseason last year for dismantling the face mask of then Cleveland Browns quarterback Jake Delhomme. In all of the incidences, Suh has vowed not to change his style of play. It was a mixed bag of opinions among the ESPN First Take crew as they debated the subject of Suh's play earlier this week. Here's a sample of what they had to say.
He wants to find out, according to his agent Roosevelt Barnes, just get a better understanding of what the rules are here. What is he doing wrong? Should Suh meet with Goodell on rules?
You know what? You want to believe. There's two things I look at it. You're a talented player, Suh, and you're a star in the league, and everybody's talking about you. But you don't want to have the reputation of being a dirty player. So I understand this little. Yeah. Let me get this sorted out before nobody likes me anymore because I'm this dirty player, not because he can't play. But number two, this looks like a little grandstanding, a little window dressing, when you don't really need to take a trip to New York to find out what the rules are. There are phone calls to be made, other players to talk to. Just go, have somebody sit down with the film. Dude, this is not what we want. You can't do it. So it's a little bit of grandstanding, I think, on his part. But I think he should clean up his act now and not wait too long because he's a great player. People should have respect for him. When the Falcons said the stuff they said about him, they shouldn't say that about a great player.
All right, and what I'm surprised nobody said yet is he's getting fined because of karma. I thought that was going to be the connection. To me, he's a good kid. I've talked to him. I've met him. He's a good kid. He's an outstanding player. And some of the other stuff that he's doing, I don't think he needs to do. I think he can be...
Like what?
Well, whether it's the comments or the reputation that he may be gaining, in terms of his play, he doesn't need to do those things to be a feared guy in the league.
He said on our program, even before he wore a Lions uniform, one of the things that he was looking at his past was to change a mindset. There's been a mindset in Detroit that they've been the doormat. And he wanted to make a hard, fast stand, not against the Detroit Lions anymore.
And and that's fair.
To be that way.
But he can make that stand without having all the extra stuff that goes.
He's taking it too far.
Well, it's bordering on that point because we're all talking about him in that way.
Right.
And
we shouldn't be. We should just be talking about his talent.
We should be celebrating the person that he is,
Absolutely.
the player that he is,
Right.
because there's so much there to celebrate with this player. And I think going to see the commissioner, I don't know how it's going to help him. I don't know if he thinks that he's being a spokesman for other players that are getting fined. You know, you'd really like him to be studying tape or getting rest or doing some things to get himself ready for the next part of the season.
Skip, where are you?
The first thing I'd like for Ndamukong to do is meet with the quarterback in the pocket more often because he hasn't been doing a lot of that.
This year, right?
Perform, two times, 2 sacks. Okay, I
know that's a measurable stat, obviously, but
I know. I love him.
You can't measure his impact on that defense.
Just haven't seen number 90 as much as I did a year ago, and I know you can get doubled.
He's doubled now. There's no doubt about it.
Other guys to get
But I've seen other guys, Ainsworth in his prime, and Reggie White, where you could stop.
Sure.
Okay. I like his reputation as a borderline dirty player. I thought it was the greatest thing that's happened to your Detroit Lions in a long time, so I don't want him to go undercut this by getting down on bended knee to the commissioner to say, what am I doing wrong? You're doing nothing wrong. Just play. Finally, the Detroit Lions have somebody you won't mess with, right? It's intimidating. Let it play out. I know he's a great kid. He's a great kid, but he has that Polamalu Jekyll Hyde thing going on.
But Skip,
But you never hear Polamalu say some of the things that.
Well, I understand, but I'm okay with those
But
things.
the other thing, though, Skip, once you get that reputation, and even the officials, they're always, when it's just a borderline, they're going to go the other way. And you know what?
Okay.
That big play or whatever is going to go against the Lions, and then it starts to affect you. So that you don't want that.
Okay, it's like the Shaquille O'Neal effect. You goaltend 2 or 3 shots early in a game, and all of a sudden they don't want to shoot anymore. Okay, it's that same thing. You might draw a 15-yard penalty.
Take the hit for the long-term game.
And again, if you take it at the wrong time, you can cost your team the game. You don't want to do that. But every once in a while there's a good 15-yard flag.
Right, but with that flag comes extra penalties because the officials do a scouting report too in terms of who they should look at, and it comes with letters from the commissioner to get fined. So you can't really have it both ways where I'm going to do this, I'm going to hit these guys, I'm going to take the penalty, but why am I getting fined?
Okay, best case here, this should have been done quietly instead of publicly.
It's a grandstand.
Right.
How did it get out?
Well, doesn't it seem like, and I don't know this for sure, but his agent is talking about it.
Yeah.
It seems almost like
Jim Schwartz said, I wish this had been done privately.
Right, it could have come and gone with no one ever knowing about it.
Yeah.
And then
That would work.
Because I wondered how the commissioner will look at this as a publicity stunt.
That's what I look at.
So you don't want to get him mad about something else, too.
Understanding the rules of engagement will allow you to maximize success and be equipped with the tools to stay within the rules. With that being said, you can't legislate aggression out of football. It's simply impossible. I'm all for player safety, particularly of quarterbacks, because I realize that offense sells tickets and defense wins championships. In that same vein, however, defenses should be allowed to play football as it's supposed to be played as well. Has the league grown a little overprotective of their star signal callers? Perhaps. However, you have to accept Ndamukong Suh's over-eager aggressiveness as part of his total package, because that's what makes him one of the most dominating players in his young career. Is Ndamukong Suh a dirty player, or does he just play with a lot of passion, energy, and effort that sometimes can be over the top? No matter which side of the fence you fall on this issue, you have to admit that Suh has quickly become one of the most feared and respected players in all of the NFL. And now he has to juggle reining in his aggressive play on the field, earning and maintaining that respect, while also capturing the edge and essence of the moment. Kevin McShann, Sports Beat, reports.